Look, for NASCAR's first race on a Wednesday in decades, absolute classic. Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Jeff Cross from NASCAR on MDK. Welcome back to an episode of Inside the Lines. Guys, the Toyota 500 just wrapped up, and Denny Hamlin is your race winner. Goes to victory lane for the second time this season. I think this is his second or third victory at Darlington. And it was an absolute classic of a race. This race had everything. It had lead changes, it had battles, it had three-wide racing, it had tire management, it had pit strategy, it had everything you can imagine for a classic stock car race. That and more, because we had a bit of an incident that we need to talk about near the end involving two most popular drivers, one in a good way and one in a not so good way. So we're just going to go over some certain drivers and how good they did during this race. First of all, Clint Bowyer, he shined tonight. He absolutely shined tonight. Coming into this race at Darlington, he had only led 17 laps of that track, and he led, I think, the most laps in tonight's race. Won both stages also, by the way. He had a really good car. Unfortunately, near the middle part of stage 3, he hit the wall for turn 2 and then cut a tire, spun out, and ultimately he would end up getting a finish of 22nd, which, I mean, that result does not show the speed that Clint Bowyer had in this race. He shocked me. Really did shock me. I was not expecting him to have that good of a car. So huge props to Bowyer in that 14 team, even though they finished 22nd, tough break for them. But that 14 car has got some speed, I will say. Now, it's kind of funny how in the Sunday race, it was really all about Hendrick and Joe Gibbs struggling. In this race, however, Joe Gibbs, they showed a bit more speed, while Hendrick, only one driver showed speed, and that was Alex Bowman. And even then, Bowman still finished 18th. Jimmy Johnson was the highest Hendrick driver, finishing in the 8th or 9th spot. So Hendrick, they really did not show the same amount of speed as they did in Sunday's race. But the driver that really shocked me was drivers like Eric Jones. Jones was not good on Sunday. He comes home with a top 5 finish and was even battling for the lead with Clint Bowyer at certain points during the race. You had Kyle Busch, who started, near the mid portion of the field, working his way up. Denny Hamlin, he was also in the mix, top 5 all race long. Martin Truex Jr., same thing. Top 5, top 10, all race long. And even Christopher Bell, he finished 11th in this race. Keep in mind, he came into this race outside the top 30 in points. He was horrible. Did not finish on Sunday after being involved in a wreck off of turn 4. And he comes on and gets a top 11 finish in the 11th spot. Great job for the Toyota group as a whole. They really improved from Sunday's race. And it was overall just a great day for both Toyota and Ford. Stewart-Haas drivers, Eric Almirola finished in the top 10. We talked about Clint Bowyer and how, although he did not win and did not get the result that he wanted, he showed a lot of speed winning both stages. And on top of that, Kevin Harvick, he also had a good run in the top 10 as well. Now I want to highlight a couple of rookies, John Hunter Nemechek and Tyler Reddick, how good they were in the Sunday race. They did not show the same amount of speed in tonight's race. While Reddick finished in the top 15, 13th spot, John Hunter Nemechek crashed. I think he had an issue in the first 1 or 2 laps, I think. Either hit a wall or spun out. And then that ultimately just went from bad to worse. Just kept on getting problems for the remainder of the night. And he just did not show any speed. And to be honest, he didn't have the opportunity to show the speed he had in his car because he already received damage from that incident on lap 1 or 2. But it was, like I said, a classic Darlington race. So you had your long runs. We expected that at Darlington, specifically in the night race when the track gets more grip, and also the drivers have more experience, more knowledge of the track, having raced there on Sunday. We had this little point during stage 3 where caution came out, I think, around 50 to go. I'm not sure, to be honest. Again, I'm going off the cuff here. I'm not doing any, settling down, thinking about it. I'm going off the cuff here. When Matt Kenseth, where he spun out, cut a tire in turns 1 and 2. That set up between 3 drivers, Chase Elliott, Brendan Poole, and Brad Keselowski. They all stayed out. Everyone else pitted. During that pit cycle, everyone else pitted while those 3 drivers stayed out, and that created a bit of strategy. Also, Ryan Newman, a bit earlier on in the race, he tried to play a bit of strategy to hold out as long as he could for a caution so that he can improve his position on the racetrack. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff that was going on that made it for a very, very entertaining race. I also saw some pretty cool battles. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, and I think Ryan Newman, 3 wide battling off of 4. I mean, there was some good racing That was not expected at Darlington. Specifically like a 3-wide pass off of 4. You don't get that at Darlington, yet we got plenty of that here tonight. Now let's get to the point that a lot of y'all are waiting for. Final caution came out on lap 206, I believe, 205, 206. Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott battling for second place, I believe it was. Chase Elliott gets a run off of 4. Nearly clears Kyle Busch, but then Kyle Busch just flat out turns Chase Elliott into the inside wall. That would bring out the caution. That would ultimately seal everyone's fate, and that's what got Denny Hamlin. It basically helped Denny Hamlin win the race. So when that happened, when I saw that, first of all, I was in shock. I was like, did that actually just happen? I was like, no way did that just happen, but it did happen. And Chase Elliott gave the finger to Kyle Busch, but he gave it in a way that when I saw that, I just started busting out laughing. Like, he was like in a military style stance, all straight up, pointing, following, and then it's just the way that he gave him the finger. I mean, usually when drivers do that, like, they show a bit of like aggression. He just simply just stood straight up, pointed his finger out, straight arm, and just follow. Simple as that. It was absolutely hilarious. But I will say, I thought for sure we would see, but I will say, it's situations like this where I wish there was a crowd. I wish there was a crowd, because I know we would have gotten Richmond 2008 Part 2. Those of you don't remember that, if you don't, you're not a true NASCAR fan. Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Richmond, which, by the way, the Darlington race here tonight replaced the spring Richmond race, which is the incident where Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch had their little issue there, battling for the lead with just a few laps ago, and the whole place erupted. You know everything that went down there. I wish there was a crowd for that, because I know the same thing would have happened. I mean, Kyle Busch would have literally needed a police escort out of the track if there was a crowd there. And one thing I thought was very interesting, and I thought was also pretty funny, was that when the cars came onto pit road, Fox cut to a camera and it showed a Kyle Busch crew, or a number 18 crew member, right next to Alan Gustafson, who Alan Gustafson originally was a crew chief for Kyle Busch when Busch was at Hendrick Motorsports from 2005 to 2007. And you just saw Alan Gustafson literally just staring at Kyle Busch's car like a hawk, like to the point where it looked like if Kyle Busch, as soon as Kyle Busch gets out of his car, Alan Gustafson is jumping this man. as what it looked like, but he didn't do that. But we did see a bit of a confrontation, and then you just saw Kyle Busch at one moment just throw his arms up and throw an F-bomb on it. And he did give an interview and flat out said that he misjudged it, made a mistake. And I'm happy that he did that. He didn't pull a Denny Hamlin like at Martinsville 2017 to Chase Elliott, where it was like, you know, hey, it happened, move on. Like, he never really apologized. Kyle Busch, he made a mistake. He stood up to it. Glad that he did that. But I wish we could have heard an interview with Chase Elliott. I want to know what his thoughts about it. And it'll be interesting to see if this could go over to next week's race, or I guess this week's race in the Coca-Cola 600. Because, yes, you apologize, but at the same time, it's like, still, you costed me a wreck race car. I won't be surprised if you might see Chase Elliott race a bit harder on Kyle Busch. And if that happens, that is literally check off the list for what NASCAR needs. I mean, if you're going to have two drivers go at it, what better drivers than Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch? I mean, Chase Elliott, NASCAR's most popular driver. Kyle Busch, NASCAR's most polarizing driver. Put them two together in a rivalry, and boom, you get smash ratings, smash success. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, it's a storyline that a lot of people are going to talk about for the Coke 600 on Sunday. So overall thoughts on this race. Overall, I thought it was great. I loved it. Specifically the Fox broadcast. I don't know if, like, during those 10 weeks, Fox literally went over everything, but their broadcasts this race tonight and on Sunday have been fun to watch. So much fun to watch. The camera angles are good. The chemistry between Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon, it's getting much better. And the experience is just overall much more enjoyable to watch. Unlike what you've seen on Fox the past 2 or 3 years, which has just been bearable at best. I love this new 2020 Fox. It's a lot of fun, very fun to watch, and it keeps you invested, and that's what I like. Great racing is one thing, but if the broadcasts don't do a good job at helping broadcast that race, we're overall not going to get a good experience. So, also, great job on Fox, everyone that works on that whole team. to be able to, you know, make sure to get this project all together, get the broadcast out on time, and overall have a good experience. But yeah, sorry if you know, this race is so short. This race review is so short. Again, off the cuff, I'm just going what's on my mind. Love the race. This Sunday, the Coke 600 is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Tell me, what are you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below? What do you think of this race? Did you like it? Did you not? But yeah, until next time, my name is Jet from NASCAR on MDK. Congratulations to Denny Hamlin, and I'll see you guys next time.